let's talk about Alyssa Mercante and Nick Calandra. We're gonna combine them this time because we really gotta we got a lot of topics to talk about. That's just basically it. So Alyssa Mercante, I have some screenshots here. This particular one, I'm only giving it for context because people who are watching on Hypnotic Live, just in case they're new to the channel, which by the way, that channel is growing amazing. So shout out to all you guys watching over there. I appreciate you. We're almost at 1,500 subs. We're growing every single day. It says, update, I have some incredibly promising conversations with a few law firms, and I feel super confident in my next steps. However, this shit will get expensive fast, especially if I decide to go down certain paths. Should I crowdfund? Does anyone know any unmarried octogenarian millionaires? Then she says, Phil Spencer, I can drop my Venmo. And then this person says, I think you'd get some decent support crowdfunding through, though versus legal fees, I don't know. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because what I'm about to show next, right? So her and Nick Calandra were both threatening lawsuits. They were trying to run around to their cronies online and pretend as if they were going to start initiating lawsuits, that they're super, super serious about it, and that they were going to follow through with it regardless of whatever happens, right? Well, apparently that's not the case, okay? First off, the fact that she actually openly admits that this is going to be super expensive tells me that she can't afford it, okay? That's just number one, which we've been saying that's from jump, okay? Alyssa Mercante, there's no way she has the money that she says or pretends that she does, all right? I mean, I know she probably lives at home and whatnot on her Kotaku salary, but it's still never enough. She lives in one of the most expensive states in the country, and a Kotaku salary is not going to cut it, okay? It's just not. The only way it's going to cut it is if she has other people she lives with, right? That's number one. Number two, we knew that they were lying. This is all just legal threats. They're trying to, or just threats in general. Really not. It's not really a legal threat because look what happened when a massive corporation, right, got sued by, or not sued, got a letter sent by Black Girl Gamers, right? Black Girl Gamers sent a cease and desist letter to that Park Place. That Park Place essentially wiped their ass with that letter and sent it back to them. What happened since then? Tell me, ladies and gentlemen, what has happened since then? Absolutely fucking nothing, okay? If Black Girl Gamers did nothing after their legal threat, which we all knew was just a threat, they were hoping that that Park Place was going to stop talking about the situation. If that didn't turn into anything, there's no way this is going to turn into anything. Absolutely nothing. Alyssa Mercante will absolutely do nothing. She can't afford it. She knows she has no case, and she's just putting this out there to try to garner sympathy. Now, what I think is happening, my little conspiracy, again, I can't prove this, but what I think is happening is that she knows she's got a couple of simps. She knows she's got some simps out there, ironically and incredibly so. So what she's going to be doing is she's going to try to utilize those simps for some easy money. So what she's going to do is she's going to run this entire victim narrative publicly. She's going to tell people she's going to be going into potential lawsuits, and she's going to start a GoFundMe campaign. She's going to try to start a crowdfunding campaign. And then what's going to happen from that is she's going to take people's money who are stupid enough to give it to her. That's the hilarious thing. Like this fucking idiot over here. Corliss, right? You think you would get decent support for crowdfunding? Really? I would like to see that. Because we all know that mainstream shills would come out in full force. You got Blurred, right? You got Johnny Boy willing to sell his wife and his kids and his house in order to support Alyssa Mercante. But how far is that going to go, right? How far is that really going to go? I wonder. So, with that being said, let's go into the next one. Now we're going to talk about Nick Calandra. And again, I brought up Alyssa Mercante first because they were both doing this together. Now, Nick Calandra has officially bowed out of the fight, at least in the public eye right now. Okay, and I think there's a couple of things that I think happened here, and we'll get into it. So we have a post here from Mick Dizzle Gaming, and it says, question for you, man. I was really looking forward to the Grum's video on his business dealings. Is that still on its way? Nick Calandra says, not from me. I got too caught up in it personally, so I'm removing myself from it. Interesting. Okay, that's number one. Let's go into number two. I got two pictures I want to showcase to you guys. Then Nick Calandra says, and yes, he unprivated his Twitter account. He got some good advice, set up some good filters, removed Twitter from the phone so that he can only use it during work hours. Stuff can consume you, and when you get caught up in it, it's hard to get out and not look at everything. Set boundaries. Ladies and gentlemen, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? This means, quite simply, that he is now officially coping and seething. Like, he is coping and seething. It is done. Mr. I'll knock you out if I see you in a bar. Mr. I'm done with these chuds and these people who think they could just say anything about me. I'm going to make an example of them. Mr. I'm going to sue everybody who's ever said anything to me. Mr. Oh, first it started off as targeted harassment, and then I changed my story and made it into something that had to do, what was his excuse? It was targeted harassment, and then it was defamation. Yeah, he went from targeted harassment to, oh, now it's defamation. Then after defamation didn't stick, now he went the virtuous route. Now he's like, you know what? I spoke to some people and they told me I was too involved, and I think it's time to exit stage right, because you can't keep taking all these L's publicly. You can't keep taking them. It's looking bad for you, and it's looking bad for Second Wind. This is L after L after L. How can you constantly take these and not cope and seethe? This is coping and seething to the max, and I dedicate this to you, Nick Calandra.
You are coping and seething.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think happened. I think what ended up happening was that Second Wind, whoever's in charge at Second Wind, keep in mind, Nick Calandra's a co-founder. So he's pretty up there in Second Wind. I got to imagine there's only a few people working there at Second Wind, right? I would imagine a Second Wind got to Nick Calandra and told him to stop the petty bullshit. Somebody got to him. Either the company got to him or his family got to him. One of the two got to him and said, you know what you're doing is a little too much. You're just doing a little bit too much right now. So now he's trying to run away, and he's trying to take the virtuous route. He's trying to pretend like, oh, listen, take my advice on social media. It can consume you. You got to set boundaries. Nick Calandra, miss me with that bullshit. Miss me with that bullshit. Because you're trying to pretend as if now you got some filters put in place. Really? You got filters put in place. Then you're trying to pretend as if you took Twitter off your phone. I'm going to put it to you like this. I highly doubt somebody like Nick Calandra took Twitter off his phone, because people like Nick Calandra are narcissists. They cannot accept defeat that easily. He is not going to accept defeat, and he can only stay quiet for so long. I promise you, he's going to come out at some point, and he's going to be back on his bullshit. He's only backing down for now, but it's not going to be a permanent thing, at least not in my opinion. You got Alyssa Mercante out here saying she's going to take a break from Twitter, and then 20 minutes later, she's making a post on Twitter and showing her titties and stuff. Come on, bro. We know for a fact, like, he's not done. He's not done. But I think what he's going to do is he's going to move his activism to another corner of the internet, because he knows he lost to Grums. He lost to Smash JT. I mean, he really wasn't fighting me, so I'm not going to count anything. But overall, he's taken so many L's, and Alyssa Mercante has taken so many L's that they're just going to slowly but surely walk away. More so Nick Calandra than Alyssa Mercante. Alyssa Mercante can't seem to let it go. She can't seem to let it go. So I'll put it to you like this, and then we'll end it on this note, because we got other topics we got to cover. When it comes to Nick Calandra and Alyssa Mercante, I think what's going to end up happening is, since Nick Calandra is no longer supposedly seeking legal action, or he's no longer supposedly in this fight, and especially he's not going after Grums anymore, I think now that all of that is come to light, I think what's going to end up happening is Alyssa Mercante slowly but surely going to walk away from the legal threats as well. Because she's like a chihuahua. She's only going to bark at you when she feels like she has something behind her that can protect her. But once she kind of gets the idea that, oh, nobody's behind me anymore, or they're kind of bowing out, I think she's going to bow out too, at least for now. But what they're really doing, they're not leaving the fight. They're regrouping. I want to make that very clear. They're not leaving the fight. They are regrouping.